Hit for my wins, I need my ends. This life is real, and play pretend. Game off the bench, I get it in, I get it in, I get it in. Hit for my wins, I need my ends. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in, I get it in, I get it in. I'm on my job, I get it done, but you should know that. Shine like a sun of 101, you should know that. I get the front and in the back, you should know that. No need to stun, it's never cap, you should know that. All I know, 10 toes, never fold, bang roll, on the go, ice wall, ice wall, ice wall.
What up, what up, what up?
What up, what up?
It's game time, baby. Welcome to
Yo, what up, what up?
This is the Sunday Surge.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on, man.
I like this. Okay. What up, what up, what up? This is Sunday Surge. Bottom line sports on flow. That's Cam. That's the sports professor. That's Hot Take Jake down there. Man, what a divisional weekend.
Great weekend, fellas.
Wow. Football, we got people crying on Facebook and all kind of stuff happening right now. Jay Glad. Come join the show, Jay Glad. And hit that like button. We got nice people on Facebook. Go find us on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. Go check out Jake on, what's it called again?
Final Say Pod.
Final Say Podcast, my bad. And then go check out Omar and Clubber D on the Combat G on the Ball In Buds. We are the Sunday Surge, baby. We are the Sunday Surge. We're going to talk about all your NFL action.
No, we are not the Sunday
action.
Surge.
What's that?
We are not the Sunday Surge. We are the Bottom Line Sports. Y'all need to join the Bottom Line Sports.
Let's go. All right, here we go. Hold on. Here we go. Oh, there's my wife. She's
Miss Patty.
Hey, I'm over here visiting my son-in-law. There's my daughter. Visiting my son-in-law and my daughter. About to have my grandson here, hopefully this week. Coming into the world. Another blessing. Coming into the world. But yeah, I'm here. We're gonna do it right. Hey, if you're proud about your team, lost today, man, come join us on the couch. We all on the couch.
Everybody on the couch.
Come on, man.
On the couch over here. Hit that like button. Subscribe. Hit that like button. Give us some comments. Come join the conversation. 27 on the live right now. We appreciate all you guys joining on live. Let's go.
Did you see my note about sharing to the group?
Oh, yeah. Share to the group. All right. I'll introduce the first topic and I'll share it.
All right.
Unless you can do it, Can you do it real quick?
Yeah, let me hop on real quick. Give me a second, man.
All right. Let's go. Let's talk about this. Let's see. All right. So the first game on the docket was Houston at KC, number 4 versus number 1 seed. Canteen. Have you shared it yet? I'll start with Open.
Yes.
All right.
I did already, man. We good.
KC 9.5 point favorites. Probably one of the biggest things talked about. Well, not the biggest, but one of the biggest things at the end was how they were covering. Whoever bet to cover lost it in the last 10 seconds, I think. But you can talk about that, Omar. I know you're one of those guys that like that kind of stuff. Canteen. Hey, talk about this game.
All right, man. So I'll hit the numbers on this game real quick. This probably was, as I told Omar earlier, man, I think this was probably the worst game of the weekend. I mean, I wasn't a fan favorite. I mean, it was 14-23, but when we look at numbers wise, I mean, C.J. Stroud went 19 for 28, and he threw for 245 yards. Mixon, 18 carries, 18 carries, 88 yards, 1 touchdown. Nico Collins, 5 receptions, 81 yards. Mahomes, he went 16 for 25, 177 yards, 1 touchdown. Kareem Hunt, 8 carries, 44 yards, 1 TD. Kelsey, 7 receptions, 177 yards, 1 TD. Here's my thing on the game, man. As I told Omar, Houston has kind of a track record, guys, where they've won the AFC South so many times, and they get into the playoffs, and they are a one and done team in the wild card. Then when I look at Kansas City, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, Flo. You might think I'm crazy, you might think I'm dumb, you might think I'm stupid, but as far as the last 4 teams that are left, as far as teams in the NFC, AFC Championship, I think Kansas City is the weakest team left. I think they are the weakest team that's left, to be honest. The weakest team as far as performance, as far as numbers wise. I mean, that's just my take on that.
Okay, that's fair. But I mean, people talk about some penalties that shouldn't have been penalties and whatnot. But if you look at the game, they missed a field goal. They missed an extra point. They got a field goal blocked, and they gave up 8 sacks. Did the Houston Texans? So it's not all penalties. Omar, talk about this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's not all penalties. There were a lot of calls that people, and I'm going to wear my shades just for this topic because I shade how I do things. But there were a lot of that people said went the Chiefs' way, right? And those calls, some of them were on the edge. It looked like, sometimes they get some favorable calls. And the referees came out and said this afterward, that the calls were all correct that they made.
Right.
Whether they believe that or not, you cannot blame a loss of a game on that alone.
Exactly.
Like, there's so many factors that come into play here, and even D'Amico Ryan said it after the game. We've played bad in pretty much all facets of the game. So if your team is not playing well overall, even if you're playing a rusty Kansas City team that hasn't played in 3 weeks, I mean, Mahomes is still undefeated in the divisional round, and the Houston Texans have never won the divisional round. So this just kept proving the same formula that we've seen for the past, 5-10 years now since Patrick Mahomes came into the league, and it doesn't seem to change anytime soon, to the dismay of myself.
Yeah.
Oh, and that bad beat was horrible. To have 9.5 points there, and then have that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
that was horrible, man. I know a lot of people were crying out loud. I could feel the pain. I could feel the pain of a lot of the over people.
A lot of loss.
Your thoughts, Hot Take? I know you're going to talk about penalties or something.
I want to know something. We spend, how is it? We spend a good amount hating on a guy in Los Angeles. Hating. Oh, you know where I'm going, Omar. You know exactly where I'm going. We hate a guy in Los Angeles for flopping. And we single-handedly saw this piece of trash, number 15, try and go out of his way to fall down on purpose on the sideline. And I laugh at this because I see a flow.
So you admit he's a flopper then?
Hold on.
LeBron, you're admitting it. Well, you're admitting it.
Absolutely. Okay. As long as you admit Patrick Mahomes is a flopper of what he's flopping.
Done. Yeah, he did.
But you hate on him. You hate on LeBron for it. No. He didn't get the call.
He doesn't get hit sometimes.
You hate on LeBron.
LeBron sometimes doesn't even get hit.
He didn't get hit. He was barely getting pushed out. He didn't even.
Yeah, but
he
LeBron
tried to
sometimes
fall on purpose.
He hits him, and that.
Let me tell y'all this, guys. Let me tell y'all this. So be it. Absolutely. Did the Texans lose this game? Absolutely. I don't get the 4th and 10 call that they went for it whenever it was the final seconds before the damn play clock was going to go down.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Here's the other part. You do know this. And Buffalo, if you're listening, you do know you're going to play the refs as well. This is why you have to do it. Absolutely, he's worse than Braun. We saw that clearly. As I said it,
I saw LeBron pretty bad flopper, as we know. Anybody out there If you think LeBron is a bad flopper, go ahead and hit that like button.
Just say flopper if you think he's a bad flopper.
Is it calm down?
Like I said,
He's a terrible flopper.
Patrick Mahomes practically showed me how bad of a flopper he is. That's terrible.
You know what?
Also,
Okay, I'll give you this
Buffalo
much.
Bills
Go on,
fans.
bro. Go on, J-Dog. Go on, bro. Go on, man. Go.
Buffalo Bills fans, be ready. You will be playing the refs as well. We know this. You have to beat them in the mouth. You have to. Because if you don't, you know what's happening.
Oh,
These guys tend to do a lot of stuff to help themselves out.
There you go.
We understand
Thank you,
it.
J-Dog.
He said it, man. He said it.
Yes, we also know that
Talking about LeBron.
that Pat Mahomes is a huge flopper with that move that we just saw. That was a slap in the face, man.
Trey.
This is the NFL.
They had one that he went out of bounds and he flopped. They didn't call it.
Like I
That's
said, that's
true.
embarrassing. Embarrassing.
That's, well,
The
you need to say
NFL
that
is a
about
little
LeBron,
different
too.
to me.
You need to say that about LeBron too. It's embarrassing. All
NBA
right.
is known for that. NFL, I see guys go head first and fight for their yards, not flop. Come on, man. Patrick Mahomes gives me more and more reasons to hate
Hey,
the dude.
like Omar said, the ref, they said they were all good calls. By the letter of the law, they were correct calls.
Yeah, I didn't say I
Texas
believe.
team that was
I didn't say I believe them. I will never side with an official. Referees and officials in every single professional
come on,
league.
Flo.
Horrible. All of them. They're all booty suits. They all need to go get retrained.
Regardless,
They all
guess
got to
what?
get retrained.
They're in the AFC Championship. So, any final thoughts on this?
Shocker
Yeah,
there.
it's going to be an
let
next week.
me say this right here, man.
Go ahead.
So,
Ken.
y'all honestly believe that the refs in Kansas City will have a leg up on Buffalo?
Yeah, you're gonna have to beat them in the mouth.
Now what? Who has
Wait,
a leg up? What's the question?
No, I'm saying, do y'all think the refs in the Kansas City and the refs, because y'all said the refs in Kansas City?
No, it's
They
just
support-
that's just the calls. They miss calls all the time.
Yeah, I mean, officials make bad calls. all the
They
time.
missed calls against Kansas City a couple of times. There was a couple of holding. It happens. That's still part of the game. That's
I
part of
agree.
the game. That's part
I
of
don't
the game.
think I don't think it'll come into play too much, anyways. even
Yeah,
if-
because usually,
Well,
Omar, you can probably back this up. Usually in the AFC Championship, NFC Championship, they let a lot of things go. It's not quite as ticky-tack,
Okay,
and they let a lot of things go. So,
they don't want to mess it up when it's that late in the season, even though they
right.
right, unless it's a little obvious, unless it's pretty obvious, they're going to let some of that stuff go. All right. Any
don't
final
tell that to
thoughts?
Saints fans.
Yeah, they
50
screwed
Oh,
them.
that pass
Hey,
interference.
hey, y'all hit that like button, share,
They screwed
subscribe.
I like those for us.
51,
Yeah.
52 on the
Ooh, we
live
got
right now.
buttons on the live.
52.
Okay,
Y'all hit
Yeah.
that
popping
like.
tonight. We popping
Come
tonight.
comment.
Hit
Come
that
comment.
like button, hit that heart button, the laugh button. Keep sharing us to the algorithm, baby. Let's go.
All right, let's go. So we are moving on with your NFL action. Washington at number 1. Detroit, probably the most craziest upset in probably maybe not in NFL history, but one of the most
And I got something to say.
biggest upset in NFL history.
I got something to say.
That's something to say?
Man,
You mean you're
Yeah, I
actually
got something to say.
substantive analysis? Are you coming with the professor?
no, he's not. He's just gonna say that he was right. But go ahead. He's gonna say I told you.
Nah, I know I was right because every time I call the game. No,
That's
I
all he's
call-
gonna say. See, that's all
I
he's gonna
call
say.
the game by 10, and then Flores don't tell me, oh, you a Hex, you a Jinx. And J Dawes, I called it. And what happened? Commanders by 10.
When you call
Flip.
everything by 10, you call 20 games by 10, one of them's gonna be right. Come on, Cam.
Come on, bro, man.
Did you really think that? Be honest.
Yeah, I told y'all watching them go
But you
win.
didn't tell us why.
Man, go ahead, man. Go ahead. Because every time I pick something right, y'all always
No,
try
you're
to
right.
downplay me.
No, you're right. You're right. I'm just saying. Tell us why you thought you were right to begin with.
Bro, I told you, man, I had faith. With this whole game, I've always believed in Dan Quinn. I've always believed in Dan Quinn. When the Falcons were about to peak, that's when they got rid of Dan Quinn.
But is this more Dan Quinn or is this more the offense and Jaden Daniels? Because that
It's the entire organization, man.
But
But it starts with the head coach.
But he's a defensive guy. The defense was horrible.
That defense played very well against a top-tier Detroit Lions offense.
That's what
that defense played a hell of a lot.
They gave up 31 points.
No. They were already up. You could tell they already did their job whenever they had Jared got fluttered.
Okay. Omar.
I got to say that. Here, I'll go ahead and go ahead.
Okay.
If I'm a Cowboys and Giants fan, you might as well sit down for the next 10 years. You're now looking at the quarterback of your division. So get ready. You just saw Jaden Daniels practically put on a show and tell you that he's practically that man.
Rookie.
That's what. Hey, and you know me. I'm a Bo Nix guy, and I gotta admit that guy is him. He is doing his thing, and I hate to be in that division with that guy, with what he just did.
Well, according to you, that was the weakest division in football.
No. And you know what I love the most? There's only 2 top teams in that division, and that's it. They're gonna be competing the whole time. Cowboy.
Well, you said the weakest division.
Cowboy fans should be embarrassed right now.
2 teams.
You let Dan Quinn go. You let Dan Quinn go last year.
Yep.
You let Kellen Moore go the year before that. Right. And now you are without Mike McCarthy, and both of those coaches are now in the NFC Championship game for a Super Bowl to go to. All I'm going to tell you is, Cowboy fans, slap yourselves in the face.
People are taking our coaches. People are taking our coaches. That's how good we are. People taking our coaches. Go ahead, Omar.
Or Jerry Jones mismanages everything and it ends up messed up.
That was bad.
People are taking our coaches.
Come on, Flo.
Just like they're going to take the
Flo, you're not talking logical. You're not talking with no logic behind it.
You want me to go outside? What do you want me to do?
Flo, if your organization is that good,
can I go in the closet?
Organization is that great, you have to have the capability and the propensity to keep the coaches and keep the people that around your team to win.
I will say this. Talking about the game, to bring up the game, I think the Lions window has officially closed. And here's why I think that. I think their offensive coordinator and their defensive coordinator will both be leaving at the end of this season.
Taking head coaching jobs.
I'm hearing Ben Johnson is probably going to the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure on Aaron Glenn. I heard Aaron Glenn might be favored to the Cowboys. This was a sad watch to see.
Or New Orleans.
Yeah, Aaron Glenn's probably going to go to New Orleans.
New Orleans.
One or the other. I don't know exactly where, but that was practically the way to end it. Look, this team was playing with no defense. I get it. But, boy, let me tell you this. Aaron Glenn was throwing everything at Jaden Daniels, and Jaden Daniels took it with nothing. Like he'd been there before as a rook.
Man.
Well, look, I'll tell you this. Look, real quick. I had to go outside because I was being too loud. All right, but listen up. I agree. I think Jaden Daniels is that guy. I think he is. And unfortunately for us, he's going to be there for a while. It's just 1 year. We'll see what happens next year. But he is a top-tier quarterback, in my opinion, already. But for the Detroit Lions, they blew it. This was their year.
But
this was their year to do it. The San Francisco 49ers were injured and struggled. Dallas Cowboys were injured. A lot of the teams that we thought were going to be up there were not up there. The Green Bay Packers underperformed.
Mm-hmm.
This was the Detroit Lions' year.
Flo,
they totally blew it completely, utterly.
Let me hit the numbers real quick, and I want to make a point behind that. But
okay.
Jaden Daniels went 21 for 31, 299 yards, 2 touchdowns. Robinson 15 carries, 77 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Brown 6 receptions, 96 yards. Jared Goff 23 for 40. He threw for 313 yards, 1 TD, 3 interceptions. Gibbs 14 carries, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns, and St. Brown 8 receptions, 137 yards. Here's the thing, guys. Dan Campbell's a guy that likes. He's a guy that likes to play. He reminds me of somebody that likes to play Texas Hold'em. He likes to gamble and he likes to make irrational decisions instead of just making the right moves and making the right moves at the right time.
I don't know. I give Dan. Yeah, he does. You're right. He does. He makes irrational.
He makes irrational decisions, Flo, and they should have made the right move at the right time. They could have capitalized. Flo, there's no way a team that wins 14 games.
To be fair, he's been doing that these last couple of years, and he's just gotten away with it. It just caught up to him this time.
And then you go into the post-game conference. You go into the post-game press conference. You crying. Crying, and you feeling sorry for yourself, and you feeling sorry for the team.
It's too late to cry now.
It's all done.
Yeah, let me jump
Go ahead,
in
Omar.
here
Get in, Omar.
So, as the resident MVP, y'all heard that? Almost fell over, I think. Anyway, I'm here in the DMV personally, and last night I was at one of our established watering holes, watching the game with a bunch of other.
It was crazy when it broke.
But Washington fans, and it got really crazy in there. Once they started to come out, it was getting really loud and annoying, and there was a lot of yelling and a lot of happiness because it's been 20 years since the Redskins ever did. The Commanders. I'm from Missouri,
right?
So you can talk that. But anyways, it's been 20 years since they did something like this, and all you heard throughout the crowd around me was, "We're here." And this is all Commanders fans. We're here because Jaden Daniels is our quarterback. And they kept talking to me. They know I'm a Raiders fan. All you need is a Jaden Daniels. I'm like, well, thank you. I know that.
That's all everybody needs.
Right. That's all anybody needs. Daniels has done it all. He ranked in the top 10 in passer rating, top 5 in completion percentage, and was second in quarterback rushers yards. This was throughout the whole season. Then yesterday, he goes ahead and has 242 yards in the first half, setting a record 1 week after becoming the first rookie to lead us in rushing yards and passing in a playoff game. This kid is just something special, something off the chain. I got to check it.
To your
Hold
point,
on.
Okay.
I got a text from our NFL insider, Shane Pete, our Commanders insider, and he was telling me that the thought around the building is that they are, as Jake said, established in the division now with Jaden Daniels, and they consider him to be even better this round. And he will not have the sophomore slump.
I tend to differ. I think he'll have a little bit of a sophomore slump. It won't be as bad. I think it won't be as bad as some of the ones we've seen in the past. I think he will have a little bit of a sophomore slump, but we'll see what happens. He may lose his offensive coordinator, Cliff Kingsbury. And so that's not gonna help. He's gonna have to get a comparable offensive coordinator because Dan Quinn is not gonna really help the offense. So that's the only reason I think he may have a sophomore slump. But here's the thing: Jaden Daniels is Lamar Jackson 2.0. He's better than Lamar was at any point in his career. Now Lamar is better now. Now Lamar's better, but Jaden Daniels is already there and even better because Jaden Daniels runs.
Whoa. How?
Love.
What? Is going to be the MVP. He is better than Jaden Daniels. Don't get ahead of yourself.
He's already better. He's
not already better. Don't do that.
In the playoffs, he is. How's that? He's better in the playoffs than Lamar Jackson.
He won one game? Come on, man. Look, I know they're going to questions are going to be out there. I know. Okay, yeah, 2 games. I know the questions are going to be out there. I know people are going to, and we're going to talk about Lamar in a little bit. They're going to be on him because he hasn't won. He has not won a playoff game, but
he's only been in the playoffs.
Okay, but he still has a chance to rectify that. It's not like he doesn't have.
Yes, but what I'm saying right now, at any point in Lamar Jackson's career, he's as good or better than Lamar Jackson right now.
I would never say that. You can't say that just because you won a playoff game. That doesn't make you better.
He won 2 playoff games.
Okay, it doesn't matter how many playoff games he won, Flo. What matters is that he's not as good as Lamar Jackson. He's having a great year, but don't oversell him, overfluctuate him.
I'm saying right now
he's not there.
Maybe next year, maybe the year after he comes back a little. But right now, he's better. Let's say this: he's better right now than Lamar Jackson was as a rookie.
I don't even know that I can say that.
Okay, what do y'all think, guys? What do y'all think, Cam? Is he better than Lamar Jackson was as a rookie?
Give him a few years, Flo. He got to develop, man. Give him a few years, man.
What about you, Jake? What do you think?
I'll go. This might be the best rookie season I've seen. This might be the best rookie.
I mean, it was a great rookie season. No one is downplaying that at all.
I'm saying it because I thought Andrew Luck was the impeccable one because he had a bad roster with that Colts team and still took them to the playoffs.
Right.
This is what I'm trying to say and I agree with both y'all in this aspect. I believe it's better than Lamar as a rookie, but I also believe that he will not have a sophomore slump. Guys, this is the worst the Commanders are going to be. They now have that rookie contract, and now they can spend money this offseason. This is the worst this team is about to be in. They're in the NFC Championship, mind you. This is how bad they're going to be? Oh, man, this team is looking for a Super Bowl in the next coming up years.
Maybe they're going to lose a lot of their staff, so that matters. That matters.
Who else would they lose other than Cliff?
easier to rebuild than players. And when you have a great quarterback, that overrides the.
Well, it overrides part of it, but
for a little while, for a little
Josh,
spot, you could say that
Josh
Cliff
Allen
helps
when
him
he
out a
lost
little bit.
Dayball. He
I'll say-
dropped quite a bit.
Well, hold on. Think about this.
He did take a
Cliff
dive.
had Kyler Murray and never did this. I think you got to give more to Jaden Daniels on what he's doing with Cliff. He's doing it on his own too.
Kyler Murray's not half the player that Jaden Daniels is.
What I'm saying is the only person you might lose is Cliff, and that's not even. And I'm hearing that Cliff might not even leave because
he might not. If he doesn't, then yeah, I think he won't have a sophomore slump.
The reports I'm hearing is Cliff is a great number 2. He's never a great number 1. That's what I've heard. Out of head coaches, I've heard that he's a great number 2. He don't know how to be mean, is what I've heard. That's from several sources.
Kingsbury,
you got to be mean as a coach.
But neither does Dan
He's
Quinn.
the offensive coordinator.
Dan Quinn is a player's coach as well.
Here's what I'm going to say about Dan Quinn. We got to stop hating on Dan Quinn. This man took the Falcons team 6 years ago to the Super Bowl, and now is one game away from taking the Commanders now, a whole different team with a rookie quarterback.
That's fair.
To a whole entire NFC Championship game. Mind you, they just played the number 1 offense in the NFL and dismantled them, had them shook.
Well, here's what I think. For me, I was waiting for Jared Goff to do this. I thought when he hit those 5 interceptions, but yet they still won. I thought he had turned pumpkin mode. He was going to start going pumpkin mode. But now that I've seen him in the playoffs, he didn't look good. He's basically Aaron Donald 2.0. You get him dancing around, tapping around back there, and he takes a dive. He doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold. My bad. All right.
You're right. I mean, once he started getting pressure, like Jake said, he was jittery in the pocket, and he wasn't able to keep his composure, and he was holding on to the ball too long, and that's what happens. And when you have a team that your offense can outgun your offense, or vice versa, and you don't. One of the main issues here was Detroit did not continue to hammer the run. The Commanders were not able to stop Jahmyr Gibbs in the run, but then King just kept going away from that and trying to pass the ball. And it's like, go with what's working. And they didn't, and they lost the game.
Yeah, and Jaden Daniels, to his credit, although I think he has a great offensive corner, to his credit, when he runs to pass. He only runs when he absolutely has to, when they need a play. But when he scrambles, he's scrambling to get rid of the ball like Lamar Jackson does now. But Lamar wasn't doing that early on. He was running because he didn't see it, and he just took off running, and he had a bunch of yards. Of course, he was a great runner. But already as a rookie, Jaden Daniels is running and looking to throw first unless there's an absolute necessity to run.
Which is what you should do as a running quarterback, because you're going to have
But as a rookie, that's impressive.
You need to stay healthy. No, I agree.
That's very
all right, impressive. We got a question here.
All right,
from
let's go.
Fans. Where is Cliff?
He said, where's Cliff Kingsbury going to coach at?
Well, he's been interviewed by the Cowboys. I don't know who else. The Jets might interview. He's had a couple of interviews.
He's had a bunch.
He's had several requests for interviews. I don't think he's actually interviewed with everybody, but
I think his best fit is just to be an offensive coordinator, man.
Well, I think personally,
I mess with the head coaching stuff, man. I think he's more effective as an offensive coordinator, man.
Well, I'm saying he could be a better head coach later on, but I think he should stay there and continue to develop and be with Jaden Daniels, get even more notoriety, because next year, he's going to be as good, probably maybe even better. And
build your resume. Build your resume.
And then later on, when you've seen Dan Quinn do it, because he's kind of got the same personality as Cliff, to be honest, because he's a player's coach, and maybe he can learn from Dan Quinn some things that he's done well as a kind of a player's coach that everybody thinks he is. He can, because that's more his personality. I think he's more a Dan Quinn personality than a hard charging, dictator. Any final thoughts before we move on?
The only situation I would take if I were him personally, as a person looking to move up in the professional ranks, as a person looking to make more money, if I were just on the business end of things, the only position he should take over where he is currently at is Chicago's head coaching position. Only because of the relationship he has with Caleb Williams, plus obviously it would be a promotion and it would be more money. So at that point, you take that. But if not, I think you stay with Jaden Daniels.
Stay where you are.
To be fair, Jaden's better than Caleb.
Oh, of course, of course.
That
would only be for a coach. That would be it, because you went up to head coach and because you got to work.
Okay, that's fair. Any final thoughts before we move on?
No, I'm good with that one, man.
All right, we're going to the next game. Hey, this is the Sunday Surge with the Bottom Line Sports crew. I'm Flo. That guy over there is Canteen. The guy in the corner is Sports Professor Omar, and that's Hot Take Jake. Hey, we got 67 on the live. Y'all hit that like.
Fire, baby.
And y'all comment. Come over here on Facebook or YouTube if you want to comment. You can catch us and comment over here. I don't think you can comment on X or some of the others, but anyway,
go up. Yeah,
come check us out.
Bottom Line Sports, tell them to join. The
Bottom Line Sports. All right, Canteen. Woo! The Rams and the Eagles. The Rams
Stop playing with me.
Stop
playing with me, man. Stop playing with me, man.
Come on, J Doss. Come on live and see what you got.
Stop playing with me, man. Told you about playing with me, bro.
All right, so the Rams in the end made this close. They had a shot to possibly go ahead in this game at the end. A tough game. The conditions were slipping and sliding, fumbling, and dropping balls. I mean, this was a tough game to play in, but the Eagles pulled it out in the end. They had enough on defense to pull it out, but a lot of turnovers, a lot of miscues, a lot of almost miscues, fumbles that were recovered and not, it wasn't a fumble because they recovered it. Man, Canteen, talk about this game. This was a fun game to watch because of all the weather and the back and forth.
Yeah.
So this game was 22-28. Matthew Stafford went 26 for 44. He threw for 324 yards, 2 touchdowns. Williams, 19 carries, 106 yards. Puka Nacua, 6 receptions, 97 yards. Jalen Hurts went 15 for 20, 128 yards. Saquon Barkley had a great day on the ground, 26 carries, 205 yards, 2 touchdowns, and make sure I got his name right. Is it Goddard?
Goddard. Yep.
Oh, Goddard.
That's him. Got it.
Well, y'all all right tonight. Goddard. Y'all all right. Man, stop playing, man. You play too much on live. You playing on live, man. 4 receptions and 56 yards. Hey, guys, man, this was a great football game. I think, man, first of all, the Rams have been through a lot of trials and tribulations. They've been through a lot of tumultuous times with all the wildfires, all the different things that have transpired. I mean, they had to go Arizona, then they went back to LA, then they had to come and play in the snow. But here's the thing, man. I think they struggled so much with the weather conditions, man, and they was trying to pass the ball a lot, and they were slipping and sliding and moving across the field. I mean, their defense tried to hold up as best as they could, but, man, what really killed them was the Eagles utilized the running game effectively. They allowed Saquon Barkley to run that football up and down that field all day. And they kick field goals when they need to kick field goals. And they made key pivotal plays, man. The Eagles are a strong team in the NFC. But like I said, the Rams started out bad in the season, but they finished strong.
Yeah.
Came out of the NFC West and they shocked me, and they had a decent year, guys. Man, shout out to the Eagles. I think the Eagles next week's gonna say a lot, man. And I mean, Jake made a good point, man. When you got 2 teams in the same division in the NFC Championship,
the weakest
division. I'm not gonna say it's the weakest.
I have both those teams very decent.
But you didn't have them in the NFC Championship.
Hold on, did Flo have him? Flo has to point out mine. Did Flo have him?
Well, you're the one that said it was the weakest division. You're the one that said it was the weakest division.
You always point out when someone else is
He wants to point out mine. Did you have both of those teams in there?
But you said it was the weakest division, and there's 2 teams.
And it is, in my opinion, except for those 2. If it wasn't for those 2,
that's not what you said.
The next part's easy. The next 2 are easy teams.
That's not what you said. All right, go ahead, Omar.
Well, you know who else has been through some adversity there, Canteen, is your man Saquon Barkley, who was let go for being a franchise player by his former team, only to come out and show that he is, if not the best he's the best running back in the league right now. I think we can all agree on that. The best running back in the league by far, surpassed, not by far, but this year, surpassed 2,000 yards. Dude, coming into the game, we talked about this last week. I said they just need to continue to pound the ball with Saquon Barkley over and over. Repeat the same formula you used to win back in when he ran for 255 yards back in week 4. And I know the Rams were injured back then, but still, use the same formula. They did. And now I know Jalen Hurts was, no pun intended, hurt with that ankle there. He couldn't really move in the second half very well.
Yeah.
But the funny part about that is it actually worked out for the stat, because last week, if you remember, I had a stat that said the Eagles under Jalen Hurts were 4-0 when he was under 135 yards passing in the playoffs. Well, now they're 5-0. They don't need him to have big games. They need him to manage the game and not throw interceptions, run the ball when he can. That's going to be an issue coming up if his ankle is not good this week. Yeah. So we'll see what happens there.
To be fair, he had a fumble that was recovered, so that could have gone the other way, but he did have a potential turnover.
He shouldn't have taken that safety either. That was a horrible safety.
Yep.
He had the receiver that floated out of the slot and sat right there in front of his face. So he saw the defender coming. He should have got rid of the ball.
Okay, so Omar, one quick question for you, and then you can go, Jake. So is this still a formula for success, assuming the weather is not as bad next week? Run it with Barkley, and Hurts can't run anymore. That's a detrimental, and Hurts is only threw for 20 times. This is kind of his MO all year. He throws it 20-something times, 100 and something yards every game. Can they beat the Commanders with this formula?
They can, because as I mentioned, I mean, they're still undefeated even when Jalen Hurts doesn't throw over 135 yards. They're undefeated. Okay. So the formula does work. But obviously, you would like to have the threat of Jalen Hurts being able to run and penetrate the defense, keep the lanes open for wide receivers, all that good stuff. You want that to happen. Now he's limited, obviously. Hopefully he'll get the and he needs to be better next week. But if not, you have to use Saquon Barkley to not only run, but also keep that turning. Because the longer you get out of Jaden Daniels' hands, the less opportunity you give him to make those plays and have a shootout like they did yesterday with Detroit.
And to your point, Omar, this is why me and you had Saquon Barkley as the MVP, and I still think he's the MVP because what he's done for that team. Go ahead, Jake. Your thoughts on these two teams?
Right. Game. Well, I would hope you push back on something, and I think a lot of people need to, including Flo. I know Matt's another one. I had a bunch of idiots come and tell me this. Are we still going to call Nick Sirianni a dumbass or not that good anymore as a head coach? I mean, no. At the beginning of the season, since he wanted to bring up beginning of the season stuff, he had the Eagles not making the playoffs because he thought Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts were going to have a big rah-rah against each other and not end up doing anything. So are you ready to take that back, Flo? Because they're in the NFC Championship now. You're not.
I still think they're having issues. I think Saquon Barkley has brought that team together.
Saquon Barkley's...
Yes, all by himself almost.
Saquon Barkley stopped Matthew Stafford. Saquon Barkley stopped Matthew Stafford.
Neither does Hurts. He has nothing to do with it. I'm saying about offensively, that's the reason this offense has been successfully because of Saquon Barkley's running and could have broken the record.
Let me tell y'all this, guys. If I hear next year another damn thing about Nick Sirianni being fired, I want to slap the Eagle organization in the face. Here's why. He's now in the NFC Championship game. Jalen Hurts has now made the NFC Championship twice, something that Dak Prescott's not even sniffed at.
Hey, listen to me, Jake. I talked to
a lot of
Eagles fans on the NFC Beast. Even those Eagles fans think that they didn't like Sirianni and they thought he was going to mess everything up. So the Eagles fans themselves are talking about Sirianni messing things up.
Even if fans like them don't know realization, this head coach is not bad at all. Nick Sirianni in 3 years
that's the only thing we were worried about was Nick Sirianni.
Nick Sirianni in 3 years has now gone to the playoffs 3 straight years and now been in the Super Bowl 1 year and now in the NFC Championship 2 of 3 years. This guy needs to stop getting blamed. This guy needs to stop. He needs to stop getting blamed. If we get to praise Sean McVay's and we get to praise all these other coaches, it's time to praise this guy. Proud of this team. Now, on for the game. Absolutely. The Rams, I think, screwed the pooch on this. Whenever that safety happened, you were at midfield off of the punt, the safety punt that you had to kick it back. Kyron Williams fumbles the ball, changes momentum just like that right after that. Huge. That is an Eagles defense. This Eagles defense is elite.
2 fumbles in the fourth.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It was 2 fumbles in the fourth, and this Eagles defense is showing you that they're real. Here's another thing, guys. And I know this defensive coordinator because he was our head coach, and I loved him as a head coach, but he could never get an offensive. Vic Fangio is a very dangerous type of defensive coordinator, guys. He is very sneaky. He's very good. Mind you, guys, the defense played in all of the NFL is his defense. It's always a cover 2, cover 4 shell. He plays underneath, and then whenever it gets tougher and tougher into the red zone, that's when he hits you. Exactly what the Eagles did. They let the Rams keep driving, and then they kept hitting them when it counted most. I'm proud of this team.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm proud of the Eagles. Last point, Nick Sirianni. Literally, bro, you deserve the credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
Stand up for this guy. Stand up for this guy, too.
And, to pick the other side, though, the last 2 drives, the Rams almost scored and almost won this game. They shouldn't have let them go down the field and score like that. Number one. Number two, they went down and almost scored again on that defense that you called this great defense. They almost gave up the pooch.
They almost did, but now they're in the NFC Championship game with one game to go.
Any final thoughts on this before we move on? All right, they're going to hit this last game. This is the Sunday Surge with the Bottom Line Sports. I am Flo. Ken is right over here. Sports Professor is right there. Hot Take Jake is right down there. 70 people on the live. Hit that like. Come comment.
What?
70 people on the live. Appreciate you
That
guys. Hit the like. Go subscribe at the Bottom Line Sports. We're going to talk about our last game here. Maybe do a little preview of next week's AFC, NFC championships. Maybe we'll see. But the last game almost just as entertaining. I mean, all these playoff games, despite the Lions losing fairly easily, they were all entertaining. So very, very hard and competitive games. Weather was a factor in some of these games. The Baltimore Ravens, a 3 seed, and the Buffalo Bills. A lot of people had the Ravens winning. I had the Bills winning. I don't know. I can't remember what you guys picked off the top of my head. But, yeah, the Ravens were favored on the road in Buffalo. Buffalo Bills pull it out in the end. 2 MVP candidates at quarterback. Canteen, talk about this game.
Man, this was a man. This game here make you want to cry, man. Makes you want to cry and be emotional, man.
Makes you want to cry. Oh man.
I'm not saying me per se, man, but
okay, you getting emotional.
About to say what the hell, man?
I
didn't know what happened.
I feel bad for Jane Gladden.
Yeah, James Gladden, he was a big Raven. He was talking a lot of mess last week.
Jane Gladden talking so bad about people last week, man. I feel bad for him, but
yeah, he's a good
But
guy.
this game was 25-27, man. Lamar Jackson went 18 for 25, 254 yards passing, 2 TDs, 1 interception. Henry, 16 carries, 84 yards, 1 TD. Likely 4 receptions, 73 yards, 1 touchdown. Josh Allen, 16 for 22, 127 yards. Cook, 17 carries, 67 yards, and Shakir, 6 receptions, 67 yards. I think if the weather conditions were much worse in Philadelphia than they were in Buffalo, man, the only looming question that's over my head, man, is this right here. The Baltimore Ravens, you go out and get Derrick Henry. You got a great offensive coordinator with Todd Monken. You got Harbaugh. You got all the key pieces on offense and defense. And to me, it's a never-ending cycle. You can't get past this pivot point. You can't pivot. You can't pivot. And what I mean by pivot, you can't get beyond the divisional round.
I mean, they went to the AFC Championship last year, to be fair, but you're right. There's still failure in the playoffs. They were the number 1 seed last year, so even more so last year. But go ahead, Ken. And
for me, this is Canteen talking, man. On the AFC side, man, I feel like the Bills are the strongest team on the AFC. I feel like the Bills are a well put together team on offense, defense. Josh Allen got it, man. And I think it's now or never, man. And the thing that resonates in my mind, guys, is, man, this has never happened. This only happened one time in NFL history, guys. For a team to go to 4 consecutive Super Bowls. 4. How you go 4 consecutive Super Bowls, you never win? I think they get over that hurdle this year, man. I like the Bills, man.
I mean, they're definitely still hurting from those 4 Super Bowls back in the '90s when the Cowboys.
Yeah. Hey, Sports Professor, let me set you up real quick before you go. So I've talked about it. I think Jake has mentioned it, but I know I've talked about it all year. Hey, until Lamar Jackson proves it in the playoffs, he's going to follow him. MVPs in the regular season doesn't matter if you fall flat a little bit in the playoffs. He did have the 1 interception. I think he had a fumble as well, a big fumble that happened in this game. He played fairly well, other than those few mistakes, a couple of throws that he was off on when it really mattered. I mean, is this gonna follow Lamar Jackson, continue to plague him? Or a lot of even Jay Glad, who's a Baltimore Ravens fan, has called for Harbaugh's job. Is it time to move on from Harbaugh? Talk about it, Omar.
What? Okay, come on.
Hey, Jay Glad has talked about this. He's a big Ravens fan, and he has said that a couple of times he said it's maybe time to move on from Harbaugh. But go ahead, Omar.
No, that is an overreaction from a Ravens fan that probably just has not seen his team get over the hump. But I'm sorry, Jim Harbaugh is a top 5, top 10 coach in the league.
John Harbaugh.
Sorry, John Harbaugh. Both of them are top 5, top 10 coaches in the league, and you're not going to find better than the Harbaugh brothers. But no, that would be very, very stupid in my eyes. This also doesn't all go on Lamar. Yes, he has not got over the hump yet. He's 5-8, right? We know that when it comes to divisional round, he's 5-8, including 1-4 in his last 5. But there were also a couple drops on 2-point conversions.
Andrew
batted down. Andrews dropped the pass right there in the end zone. Heartbreaking. It's not on him
He
either.
He also had a fumble.
True. He didn't have the greatest of games, but he's also carried them through plenty of seasons. So you don't blame him.
I'm saying Andrews also had a fumble.
Right.
Along with that drop.
Right. No, I'm saying that Andrews has helped to carry for a long time now. So you can't just put it on one person. It's not Lamar Jackson. It's not Mark Andrews. It's not. Now, if they don't get over the hump, you're always going to have that stigma on you that, okay, they just can't do it. They just can't win the big games. They just can't get to the conference championship. They can't win and get to the Super Bowl. They can't win the Super Bowl. Sure, those questions are always going to plague them until they get over that hump, but that doesn't make them any less of a player. This is 2 MVPs coming into the game. Lamar Jackson proved becoming the first quarterback to pass for over 4,000 yards and rush for over 800 yards in the same season. And he did even more than that. And then you got Josh Allen coming in here with similarly great stats, brought down his interceptions way down this year, and you have an epic matchup between MVPs and possible title contenders. It came down to the last minute. Baltimore struggled early, came on late. Maybe if they would have made a couple more plays in the first half, it may have been a little different. But you got to give it up to both teams. It was a hard-fought game. I think that Baltimore can't just go away from this and slack off into the corner. I think they just need to continue to work around the edges. They lost Patrick Queen earlier this year. That hurt their defense early in the season. They need to make some pickups, and I think they'll be fine.
Okay. And your thoughts on this, Jake? Real quick, let me ask you this, and the other guys can chime in on this if they want to as well. But did the Ravens once again go away from Derrick Henry too soon? He only had 16 carries, 84 yards. The weather conditions were ripe for this kind of game. Why did they go away once again from Derrick Henry? Go ahead, Jake.
Well, look, absolutely. I think Lamar's early struggles did hurt them. They did catch up on top. They did catch up. Here's my thing. I think this game was won, and I know Omar's going to hate this, but I got to call a spade a spade. Uh-oh. This game was won in the offseason last year when they let go of that idiot Stephon Diggs. And let me tell you this. The second they let that guy go, this team on this Bills team, everybody played for each other, Omar. Nobody was playing for themselves. Sorry, bro. I know you're a Terp. I know you want to love him. Whatever.
I will not let you besmirch the good name of Stephon Diggs, University of Maryland alumni. Okay, my friend? Will not do that. Is he a diva? Yes, he is a diva. Is he good enough to be a diva? You're damn right. You took Terrell Owens up there in Cowboy land, Flo. I don't want to hear it. The Patriots took Randy Moss. I don't want to hear it. You take a diva because he's good. Now, did it make the team better? I don't know. Did it make them more cohesive? Probably.
It made them great now. And look at them. They're one game away and they're right there. Here's the thing. Lamar has to, and I think has to get better with the turnovers. He has to. Not only that, this game could have been different because we saw earlier this season when it was in Baltimore, they destroyed the Bills. I think there was key things that needed to happen. You're right. Derrick Henry didn't rush as much. I will say this, their backup running back had like 50 yards rushing too as well, though. Hill. He was actually kind of being a spurt. In the end, the Bills played the better game. They had no turnovers. Josh Allen, even at times, there was a time where he was on a 3rd and goal. He wanted to pitch it back. He held himself.
He was very close to.
No, that would have been
himself.
That would have been so.
Said, no, I'm going to hold it. You can tell Josh Allen has aged very well through these playoffs as he's learned.
I think if he had a little more room, he would have pitched it, though. If
he would have tried.
He would have tried. He would have tried.
So I'm giving it to them. Ravens, here's what sucks with the Ravens. I think they put all their chips in the basket this offseason. I think they bought Derrick Henry. They went to buy Deontay Johnson.
But wasn't this the year to do it, Jake? Wasn't this a year for them to do it?
Yeah, but next year they'll do it next year. They still got a good team.
Well,
this is the year, right?
You have to age. I don't know if Derrick Henry comes back next year. Now he's going to be 33.
Oh, he's definitely going to be back. He has a 2-year contract.
I think he could have one more year like this, but maybe that's it.
And they're saying he ages like fine wine. He's getting faster.
Well, if he ages well, then they got a chance.
Yeah,
he's on that LeBron spending millions on your biometrics.
Now I heard that on the broadcast. He spends a lot of money on himself.
Hey, shout out Robert Thomas. Yes,
but shout out to Josh Allen. I will say this, Josh Allen. To be a champion, you got to beat a champion. I'm rooting for you next week, buddy.
Hey, yeah, shout out Robert Thomas and also Two Wild Creations.
Two Wild Creations Development Team.
Hey, 77 on the live. Y'all keep sharing.
Hey, Flo, we got another one. Shout out to Scott Kobe tuning in, and he agrees with you, Flo. Todd Monk can show one thing in 2 playoff seasons. He doesn't have the patience to run the ball in the playoffs. Losses on Todd Monk.
I don't get it.
Yeah, they don't run.
It doesn't make sense.
They could have ran the ball down their throat in this type of weather.
With the Lamar too, I don't understand it. It just doesn't make sense. They do this.
You know what I will say, real quick. This is what I didn't understand. Last week against the Steelers, they had Lamar running pretty fast. The first 10 plays were either him and Derrick Henry running back and forth,
going back and forth. Yep.
Why did that not happen here?
Did you just have a fireworks show?
He did something like this. I think that's why it happened.
That was great. You should save that for your hot take.
That's how hot it was. That's how hot it was. Fireworks going off in the back with hot take, Jake.
Oh my god.
All right.
But I didn't understand that. The game plan didn't make sense.
All right. Any final thoughts here on these? Any of these games?
Let's take a quick preview and tell them to come catch the rest of it on Tuesday.
All right, so we are going to talk about AFC, NFC championship games. AFC, it will be a rematch between the Bills and the Chiefs. Should be a classic. Also, in the NFC, 2 NFC East teams, the weakest team in football, are going to be against each other. The Commanders and the Eagles.
You said the 2 weakest teams? You're such a hater.
No, 2 teams in the weakest division.
Oh, I thought you said the weakest teams. I was like, you don't have to be a hater just because you're a Cowboys.
No. 2 teams in the weakest division. I'm just taking a shot at Jake again.
Yeah, but anyway, take a shot at me. He's hating on Nick Sirianni.
But anyway, we're going to talk about the AFC NFC Championship next time on the Bottom Line Sports on Tuesdays. We will be at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern.
I'll make sure you tune
in. Everybody here, 73. We had up to 78 at one point.
That's good, man. That's good.
On the channel, watching, hit like, go subscribe on all these channels. Check us out on Flow. That is Canteen. That is the Sports Professor Omar, who has Ball and Buds Entertainment. Go check them out over there on YouTube and Facebook as well, and X. And then go check out YouTube, the Final Say Podcast, Hot Take Jake and his guys over there. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Come catch us on Tuesday. Good show, fellas. We appreciate all you guys turning in.
8 p.m. Eastern, be there. The Bottom Line Sports on YouTube. The Bottom Line Sports on Facebook. 8 p.m. Eastern, be there.
Be there.
Be there. Be square. All right, guys. We'll see you next time on the Bottom Line Sports. Peace.
Thanks so much for joining us, and until until next time, let's talk sport, fans. Thanks for watching.